Hello, and welcome to the 2-Bit Game Club's 4th episode of our Metal Gear Solid Let's Play. I'm your host, Liam Gallagher, and forever I'm joined by our...
Emily Hermstead.
Yeah,
Hello.
she's peerless and fearless.
Maybe. I mean, I didn't fight the ninjas. You fought the ninjas.
I haven't fought the ninjas
yet. I'm here for the moral
yet.
support.
Nuke Building 2. That's the name of the place we're going. So... for anybody who's just joining in now, do you think you can catch them up on the action a little bit there, Emily, while I once and for all destroy this stupid ninja?
Oh no, you didn't destroy the ninja off stream? We're gonna have to destroy the ninja again? Oh god. Well, I think we're on our 3rd episode, so probably something close to our 3rd hour of the game.
We're actually on the 4th episode of the 2-Bit Game Club's Let's Play of Metal Gear Solid.
We finished our 3rd episode. We're on our 4th episode now. We are busy killing a robot ninja man who's been a little bit frustrating. Everything leading up to this point, we had a great time. I think you probably spent something like 30 minutes on the fight. Now it's time to return.
I've totally got this. I don't have it.
Yeah. Dr. Emmerich needed you.
Yeah, Dr. Pissy Pants. Now, I'm a ninja.
Oh boy.
I'm a robot, but they made me talk like this. My programmer was a 12-year-old. Right?
Yeah, pretty much. I wouldn't know. I do like that he has a little arrow pointing down to his eye, like, look, here, this is what you should see.
Yeah.
A dumb little forehead tattoo.
So,
oh, man.
What are you feeling today for Metal Gear Solid?
Where did the Omnics go so wrong?
Now that you've had a little bit of distance from our last little stretch of gameplay, have your feelings about the game changed?
It's still a cool game. I mean, obviously it makes a big difference that I am not able to actually play it myself, and I probably should play it myself to be able to get a truer feeling for what the game is.
Right.
It's actually kind of cool that they put it, because you're playing the PS1 version on the PS2.
Yes.
And it's pretty cool that you're able to do that, because
it
would kind of suck if you had to play it on the PS1.
Yeah, well, only in that the PS1, like the build quality wasn't that high, and so they like to break. Whereas the PS2, especially the model that I have, I've got the little blue one. Oh man, they stand the test of time. But interestingly enough, I mean, the reason why you're able to play PS1 games on the PS2 is like, from a hardware perspective, there's an entire PS1 inside the PS2.
Yeah, I mean, all it is essentially a dual disc reader with detection about what you put in it, which is pretty simple and cool, but it's the fact that they actually want to make your PS1 games playable, which is just astounding from a current perspective, where they want to make everything as incompatible as possible so consumers have to spend more. It's nice to have, because it would be very easy to make a singular console. I mean, you see it already where they want to cover, every single everything, and obviously you can't do that with IPs like proper stuff like Microsoft, so Xbox, anything post Xbox era and stuff like that. But people want to combine all of their retro consoles. Just imagine what you could do if you could actually put your Xbox and PS3 and PS4. It seems like a real jerk move to your consumers to make stuff purposefully non-compatible.
Yeah. Well, sometimes I guess it's not necessarily that they're being purposely non-compatible. Like, from a system architecture thing, there's really no overlap between a PlayStation and a PlayStation 2. Right? It's not like you just put in a better graphics chip, where the old graphics chip used to be, with your soldering iron. Like, fundamentally, they are a completely different computer, which I'm sure you know.
Well, yeah.
But a big part of it is just like expense to the consumer, where it's $30 off the price of the final console if you don't bother to put the old chipset in. And sometimes that's the difference between whether people buy an Xbone or they get a PS4.
Well, that's why you do more than PS4. Rooms for it is not that hard to do multiple runs of a console. That goes along with that. You can just budget differently
Yeah.
for multiple versions, and I mean, in more experimental days, that was a thing. It is less so now,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
For sure. I
Like
mean,
the kind of differences that you see between the original Xbox, the Xbox, and then the 360 and stuff like that.
yeah. I mean, obviously, from a consumer's perspective, like, I definitely value that. Like, my favorite consoles are non-Nintendos. And even though they didn't do that until recently with the Wii and the Wii U, the Game Boys have always been compatible back to the last generation, and it's a huge selling point that I can 3DS with all my old DS games. Because at this point, like, the 3DS library is like ludicrously large.
Yes, and ludicrously good. I do wish I mean, it's taken them like 7 or 8 years. Smartphones have been capable of emulating basic Pokemon games, like the higher end smartphones, and now even the lower end smartphones can emulate them.
Yeah.
And it took them that long to realize that we wanted to have Pokemon games on our phone, and it just, like, it blows my mind that they could be so far behind on consumer needs. And Nintendo's always been that way, for sure. They really, really like to have a very closed-in world, a lot of quality control, and that's part of what makes their games fantastic quality, totally. But I do
This
think
is some
there's a lot
crazy
of missed
bullshit.
opportunities.
He's like one hit from dead, and he just pulled like a new move that could have killed me.
But you got him, right?
He's not dead yet.
Where are you? Little
I think I just got him. I think I. Is that,
saying stuff like hurt me more.
yeah, he's a sadist or masochist.
And then no, how can he even feel pain? He's a robot.
Yeah.
Who built that in there? That's wrong.
He's got no health, but he keeps saying "hurt me more." Is there some dumb thing that I have to do last? He's just sort of like jittering around the room. Oh, he just hurt me again with his electricity. He just killed me. Oh, that is so frustrating. That's so frustrating. He had this like little electricity aura that hurt me,
Yeah.
and then when I fell down, it pushed me further into it, so that when I got up again, it just killed me.
That's awful.
So this is like a very dark mark on this game. This whole encounter. Can you
I
look?
mean, it's funny because you got past it very quickly this time
Yeah.
as well.
Can you
First
look
time.
up how you land
Yeah, I
the
am.
killing blow? Because this is agonizing.
Difficulty. Oh, I was looking at a different guide than last time. And Ninja's difficulty is 6 out of 10, and the tank's difficulty 7 out of 10.
It's hilarious. The tank was easy. The tank, I was like, oh, it's over?
Now we can fight as warriors.
Oh, okay. So when he activates a field of electricity around him, this is where you can use a gun.
Oh, good.
So, and then shoot him. That makes no sense.
Yeah, because it's like, I felt like maybe I should just like blow this guy's brains out. But then I was like, no, everything that this fight has been about how I'm not supposed to use a gun. But then you have
It's
to.
weird considering they provide you with ammunition constantly.
Yeah, I hate this boss. I hate this whole encounter.
Yeah, that's incredibly senseless that they would decide to make your final kill on him dishonorable. What kind of ninja is this?
Yeah, I'm giving this section of the game like 0 to 10.
But only this fight alone, not even this section of the game.
Yeah. So far, I don't really get into the whole like take a whole team of authors and creative people's work and then give it a number. It's not really my jam. But if I was forced to rate this, I would say like so far the game was like 9-ish, and then this is a solid 0. This is a solid unforgivable. Like, this is like a crime.
You're gonna have fun with some of the harder stuff later, I imagine is coming.
To me, it's not even like that it's difficult. It's just like janky nonsense. I don't feel like what I'm chafing against here is actual like difficulty, like the complexity or the challenge of the task.
Hurry up and catch.
Like, you know, I think
Either
there's-
that or these become regular enemies. Don't worry, I won't speak of intelligible horrors such as that.
Yeah. We'll get him, and I'll just blow his brains out with a submachine gun, and it'll feel good.
Right at the very end. These little robot brains.
Yeah. So yeah, like backwards compatibility is an issue, and usually it's available on consoles, like the first rendition of the console when the library is a little weaker, and they want to step up the competition with the competitor and make it look like they have a robust library with like the most features and whatnot. And also to make the game, like the system, feel like it's high tech.
Well, yeah, but I mean, most people pick a console based on an exclusive title. It has nothing to do with the depth of, well, maybe a little bit to do with the depth of their library, but when a console's released, which is generally at the time all the rest of the consoles release, people pick based on a title, a very specific title that they want, which means that companies are willing to pay out the nose to have exclusive stuff or have long contracts with companies that are often to their detriment, that don't allow them to branch out from what they've promised.
Like,
and then a huge portion of the market doesn't get an opportunity to play amazing games, and it really sucks. Like, it really sucks.
Yeah.
Especially with some of the great stuff out there. Because I'm not going to spend an extra $600. As much as I love Naughty Dog, I'm not going to spend an extra $600 just to play Uncharted, right? And Uncharted is amazing, and I want to see the tech that's behind it, but I can't do that. I don't have that kind of money.
Yeah.
And so they miss out on an entire PC market. And you see this with stuff like Halo, too. They're only releasing a Halo collection now.
Yeah.
Like, it has been a very long time. Computers have been capable of playing those games for a very long time, and it is only just happening because they're finally free from the contract, stopping them from being able to do that.
There was a Halo PC game, like Halo 1.
Oh, was there?
Yep. I think back then Microsoft had a slightly different business model, though, right? They saw their Xbox market and their PC games market as being a little more closely linked.
Hmm.
What do we do today?
I mean, I see a lot more linking between, so the free software market, which is essentially phone games. And I say phone games, but like there's really good stuff out there. Crypto Necrodancer, stuff like that is finally seeing phone adaptations, which is really rad for them. I love that game. That dev team is amazing. Amongst many other things that work well on phones, but they also come out on Steam and are totally playable pieces of awesome stuff. They get their indie bundles. They get everything. Having more opportunities to have those markets merge is really cool, but phones definitely are not going to be on the same level as a PS4 or an Xbox at this point. And their games are not as high budget, so not as high quality or not as depth-filled.
Yeah.
So it's nice to see them merge, but yeah, the exclusivity really kind of screws over. The PC market's way bigger than I think maybe, I guess, excluding Xbox Marketplace and stuff like that, the fact that you actually have to pay for that kind of stuff to be available just blows my mind that people would still support it, because they do want to play these little indie games. But $15 a month to connect to the internet, I just don't get it, man.
It's the internet.
Plug my cord in and go. I'm already paying for my internet, and I already paid for my quote-unquote console.
This is
and a
Microsoft
screen to play
internet.
it on, and then controllers to use for it, and then my video game to play on it. Like,
But it's got colored
Expensive.
squares in the corner.
Oh dear.
Microsoft Internet. It's like Warcraft is your friend tax.
Switch to Windows 10 now.
Yeah. No, but seriously, you have to switch.
I'm here.
Do you want to switch now or like in 5 minutes?
Maybe another 10? Think about it. Think about it.
Yeah. Like the idea of like the operating system trying to like make a date with you.
It's
Howdy, soldier.
Yeah, then I'm pretty sure that it would have its mascara smeared and its eyes just kind of a little bit off kilter, and you're not really sure if it's actually human. But
Yeah.
you still want to take it to a nice dinner because it would be mean not to, and then you realize that it's too late and she's attached and half merged with your body now, and that there's no escape, and that it leaves files on your computer that are hidden and much more. Wow. The gift
Yeah.
that just keeps on giving.
That's some Mac OS stuff, right? Like hiding.
Yeah, they're trying to streamline, and it's a bad idea.
Hiding certain files from the user. Like you have to like click a button to like go into I know that this could destroy the computer, but I know what I'm doing.
Well, not even that. Like things like trying to get fresh or clean installs can be really tough with Windows 10.
Oh, right. Like
And the fact that they hand out licenses like crazy. They want everybody, even if you have an illegitimate or reused Windows 7 license, they
Yeah.
want everyone, or Windows 8, I guess, as well. They want everyone to use Windows 10. So it creates this kind of licensing disaster. I think that's actually come to an end now. I'm not totally sure on that.
that's what they do in True Computer Land. They just give everybody a license. Here you go. Doesn't matter. We don't care.
Yeah. But Microsoft already do care.
So hopefully I can kill this guy with the remaining life I have, and then just gun him down. Because this is, I mean, we're talking about licenses for operating systems, for God's sakes, right? Like this is how much fun we're having playing Metal Gear Solid. Is that we would rather talk about the licensing options.
Well, you're not playing Metal Gear Solid. You're beating Ninja Boss, right?
Yeah.
As you have been for a while. This is not playing the game. This is just one of those struggles that happens pretty normally, where you just can't get past something. It's hard. But there are portions of this that are straight up bad. Gun right at the end.
You got me again.
Oh no. This is why when this stuff happens, I generally finish it off camera.
Yeah, well, here we are. I'll send you my memory card. How about that?
Now, make me feel it. Make me feel alive again.
When you say memory card, I just imagine the memoirs of Liam Gallagher. And like it all ends when he starts the Metal Gear Solid boss, like his diaries, all the words become smudged.
Yeah. After this is just madness.
Eventually descending into madness.
This is frustrating because I had him before, and then the game janked me.
Only a fool trusts his life to a weapon.
And when I talk about how this experience, like the lack of flow, ruined the game for me, no one's gonna believe me. Everyone's gonna say, wasn't that hard?
He was 6 out of 10 difficulty as opposed to the tank, who was a 7 out of 10.
Yeah. Oh good, I couldn't even see my character and then got janked. And sweet, I'm almost dead. Amazing.
It's like super not intuitive to make it so a ninja has the power to create a whirlwind around himself and then say that that's when you can use bullets.
Yeah.
Like if a piece of his armor fell off and he was like, "Oh no, not my ninja Kevlar.
Not
Now
my
your bullets can harm me." Like I mean that's not a fantastic solution in any way whatsoever, but saying, "Oh, baby, hurt me more," really doesn't
Yeah.
doesn't help me with that. Oh, our next boss is also rated 6 out of 10. Oh no.
What is it rated in the annoying jank field?
The annoying jank field. The controls why you do this field.
Yeah. I'm almost dead again. Yeah, this is frustrating because it's not like the fight isn't even interesting. You know what I mean? It'd be one thing if this was like a dynamic and difficult fight, but it's just like he does the same janky move over and over again, and you just have to like hope that the game doesn't kill you like that again. Yeah. I'm having a hard time telling the difference between this, like which moves are which. But in order to like get a hit in, you need to stay pretty close to him. And ergo risking getting ganked.
Yeah, I mean, they have opportunities, like super stereotypical opportunities, because the guy has a giant glowing thing in his head to be able to give you different kinds of projections for his attacks, like even color-related projections. I don't know if he makes calls. Probably not.
No, it's just different. It's like he has three different kick moves, and there's one that you can't hurt him after, one that you have a short window after, and one that you have a long window after. But all the animations start the same. And one of them kills you in 3 hits, and one of them kills you in 4.
But he has no instances of like the ending frames being different between these. I guess he has his pause where he kneels.
And he just killed me. Sweet. The endings are all different, right? Which determine whether or not you're able to hit him.
I mean, his shorter one seems to get a smaller like reticule when he jumps the circle that comes out. When it's smaller, then you have less of a window, but the bigger one, you have a longer window.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the bigger one also means you have to be farther away from him.
Yeah. I hate this.
Now,
Okay.
make me
You're so close the first
make
time.
me feel alive again.
Metal Gear jank.
Good. Now we can
All right. I'm not gonna talk this time. I'm just gonna jank. Janky jank.
trust his life to a weapon.
Feel free to talk though, but I'm not going to.
Alone on air.
Yeah.
Man, who knew a sad office environment with a bunch of cubicles could be so unsoothing? Ooh.
I hate that you have to hit him like 28 times or something. It's just like I get bored after like 10. Maybe one of the bosses in this game is going to be the camera from Banjo-Kazooie.
Seems about right after playing it previously.
Oh, come on. Get up, Snake. Come on. All right, halfway.
Hurry up and catch me.
Yeah, this fight has gone on so long. I feel like we're on day 3 of this fight. We are, I guess.
We're on day 2 of this fight, unless previously practiced between recordings. We're on day 2 of this fight.
Does it look like I did it?
And it's too bad because coming from it fresh always means it's like, I always find it's way easier the first time. Not the very, very first time, but when you come back to it, it's way easier to succeed because you're not frustrated yet. You're like relaxed and you're like, yeah, we're just gonna do this and like move on with our lives. But alas, the mechanics being senseless kind of screwed you over.
Yes. This angers me. He's got that one attack that takes your health half out. And like sometimes he comes, yeah, like he just because of the overhead camera, the way that like the katana attack works is his range is just about your visible range, like of the scenario. So unless you react to it immediately when he comes on screen, he just kills you.
Well, even if you react immediately, you don't have enough time to get out of the way because Snake is slow.
Now,
Yeah.
make me feel it.
And there's a lot of input. There's a lot of like end lag on Snake's moves. So you're stuck, right?
And I mean, slow has a lot of potential to not necessarily be bad or painful. But for this particular case, there seems to be a lot of smaller parts that are overlooked, and it really is a shame because early on I did think this fight looked pretty cool, despite the fact that you have to take it real slow. The fact that you don't get to use your guns, you know, a lot of the stuff around the office, like the windows breaking, the
papers flying.
the papers going everywhere. There's all these really cool details, and it's just too bad that it ended up this way. Because I'm still impressed at how dang good looking this game is and how unique every enemy, every character is, all that kind of stuff. It's just really fallen apart for particular fights that just aren't well built or are just difficult for no purpose.
Yeah, this the purpose is one that's getting me here. Is like I can't for any reason figure out why this fight is structured the way it is. Like I don't.
Probably because it's the one fight that you're gonna have difficulty with, and then everything else is gonna be fine. Because I imagine a lot of people would have gotten really frustrated with the tank fight, right? Especially without a guide.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you charge in there like 3 times, like not understanding. You know, nothing really gives you a heads up besides the fact that it doesn't work the first 2 times, and then after that you have to try and use your whole arsenal to deal with the tank. But it makes sense.
Yeah.
Things like taking out a tank's treads so it slows down, that seems really cool. I guess the one thing that didn't make sense is that crawling over mines lets you collect them, but I do think the game tells you that.
Yeah, I think it gives you that bit of knowledge. So like what's happening here in the corner of the room, I did get a hit there because I screwed up, but like through all this, like the enemy has been acting in a predictable way that makes sense according to the way that I understand how the character moves, and it was easy, and I just trounced him for half his health getting hit once, right? But then you get into these scenarios where all of a sudden crazy jank starts happening, and I have no idea. Like he's attacking from halfway across the room and I can't see him. And he has this teleporty thing where there's like a beep before it works, but he doesn't necessarily go to a predictable place or use it.
Oh, so they actually have sound cues. Interesting.
Yeah, for the teleporty thing they do, but he doesn't teleport to a particular position relative to Snake, and he doesn't also teleport a predictable number of times. Sometimes he doesn't do it, sometimes he does it once, sometimes he does it twice, sometimes he does it 3 times. And it's not interesting. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So like when he's doing this pacing thing, he's gonna, okay, so he jumped, so he, yeah, and the other thing that happens is that Snake gets, he just killed me. The way that the punch kick combo works is that once you've inputted the first 2, you get stuck into the combo and you can't turn or change your orientation. And so he just teleports and then goes behind you and kills you while you're stuck watching the animation. But in order to get him to move at all, you can only hit him after he teleports, and he only triggers the teleports when you attack him.
I do actually suspect that Snake actually has like turn speed and stuff like that, which would be okay if the fight didn't punish you for it.
So, how many times do you think we've done this?
Well, I mean, it'd be pretty easy to find out. So today we've done it maybe 6 times, something like that. Probably about the same last time.
Yeah.
7 or 8 times.
So, I mean, when you have these experiences with these games, how much do you think that you're allowed to let this maybe somewhat anomalous experience with the game affect your opinion of the game, or to how?
Well, I mean, yeah, this portion of it's unnatural because you wouldn't normally have to sit down to try and get past a fight all the time. You could try it once and then go back to your life, come back 4 hours later, and then try it maybe 2 or 3 times again. So there is a bit of a strangeness to the way that we have to approach it, and generally, yeah, I don't know. If I loved the game enough before you get to this point and that it feels worth getting past, then sure. There's definitely games that I would put down if I didn't enjoy the really early game enough to want to have to continue. Like, I have been doing the, or at least I did the same challenge levels in Yoshi's Island, you know, for probably weeks.
Yeah.
Just practicing them to get them down because I loved the game, and every now and again I would go back and go through all the levels, even if I 100%ed stuff, just because it's relaxing.
Yeah.
Because I really enjoyed them, and that's what I had to play, and it takes 2 minutes to lose a level in that game. It's not like a 10-minute ordeal.
Like this ends up being.
Yeah, every single time it ends up being a 10-minute ordeal. Because if it were a 3-minute ordeal and you did a lot more damage, then you'd be doing it half as fast. So you could try it twice as many times in a much smaller time span, and you'd probably spend a lot less time. Like, I'm sure if you could put up a statistics sheet for this, everybody dies in the last third.
Yeah.
Because that's normally how these things work. You never die early on. You try and spend your resources as far as you can, and they want to design a fight so you do have to use your resources for as far as you can, but everybody's going to die in the last third when they do die, except for maybe the first or second time that they do a fight. And that's kind of not what you want to see, because then people have to spend time on it every time.
Like old times.
Like old times. I hate this guy. I really just super duper hate this.
I mean, I remember playing Perfect Dark, for example, a game that I was encouraged by a lot of people to play. And it, if I remember it correctly, it had, like, the camera angles were very old game.
Yeah, rare shooter.
Yeah, so you're controlling yourself from the camera angle. So your camera being kind of pseudo-relative, they'd have stuff like corner shots, and it would really screw you up, and you'd have to like move around real slow.
Oh, it just killed me.
To try and get your character to move right.
Yeah, and that's like the single stick shooter thing. Like, that's another rare game. You know, it has a lot of the same camera problems that like a Banjo-Kazooie has, right?
Yeah.
But because the action is always like in front of your character, it's a little different, right?
Yeah.
Whereas in like a platformer like Banjo-Kazooie, you end up having to like move laterally.
Make me feel alive again.
So much jank. So much jank. I'm starting to feel like I might have like a disability.
No, not at all. I mean, I'm not, I wouldn't consider myself beyond stuff that isn't reflex based to be incredibly talented. I have not spent a lot of time practicing with controllers. That's just, I didn't get a console till so late, right? So I'm pretty incompetent with console controllers. So there's no judgment here. You're probably much more successful in this fight than I would be. But I do imagine Brooke will pick it up, instantly do it, like won't even have problems with it. He's no talent, just does it. Smooth as silk.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Brooke will use save states.
Yeah. Yeah, what if they had phases to this fight? That would be great.
Yeah,
We
they
could do
just
the
let
last
you.
half.
Exactly. Yeah. What if they just did anything? You know?
Not this. Nothing.
What if you didn't have to hit him 28 times? Right? What if he didn't two-shot you? So like in this is going fine, right? The game is behaving, you know, with I think, like, so to speak, like the vernacular of this character's mechanics, right? Like he's so like that time, like I know he got me, you know what I mean? Like the spacing was bad, and that's my fault. And in the times where I'm getting hits on him, is because I'm like properly anticipating the spacing of his attacks, right? So like that, this I'm on board for. All of this is cool, right? Like when I'm getting hit, it's because I didn't do it right.
Yeah.
And then he hits like invisible teleporting mode, and I feel like it becomes a dice game.
And I mean, having randomness in a fight is okay. It's better to place it earlier rather than later. That's often just straight up used for games, a degree of randomness or difficulty.
Yeah.
And it's trying to encourage you to not lose that early health, I guess, if nothing else, your early health gets.
Yeah.
But, I mean, giving you a sound cue, I guess, is something, but the fact that he teleports out of the range of your camera isn't particularly fair. And I guess it's not really designed to be fair. I wonder if you can shoot him when he hits his first electrical phase rather than the very, very end.
Probably not. He probably teleports and kills you. It's my guess. Thank God you can still punch when you have a chaff grenade in your hand. Yeah, one of the things that's hilarious about this whole hide and seek thing is like the room is like 20 by 20. Like, even though I can't see him with the camera, like the character would be able to, right? We're fighting in a cube farm. Okay, so now is the bullshit. So I'm just gonna start my chaff grenades. So I have to run the numbers as few times as possible. If that makes sense.
Yeah, don't give him the chance to get you.
All right, I just got a freebie in. That's nice. So I got 4 more chaff grenades. I think I've got more than 4 hits worth of anger ninja in him though. This might actually be one of the worst experiences I've ever had playing a video game.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
I mean, I've gotten stumped on some bosses before. That's for sure.
Yeah, but I mean, again, like I think there's a difference between being stumped and then just being like arbitrarily punished. Like I don't think I'm losing when it's hard. I think I'm losing when it's janky and completely unpredictable and isn't even like obeying its own rules. Okay, so I've got 1 more grenade. I think that'll get him into his let's call it I'm a little teapot phase. Okay, I should be able to shoot him. Love of God. So I just shot 100 rounds at him. So I keep shooting him with my gun. I'm worried that he's going to teleport near me and I'm going to get shocked.
And he's just gonna finish you off.
Because I can't see anything because of the camera. Okay, fucking.
I built that snake.
Do 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 do.
No. Tragedy.
Do 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 do. Okay, so Metal Gear Solid takes the distinction of having the worst gameplay experience I've had in my entire life.
He's glitching out. That's why the fight was so hard.
I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. The game has lost me.
Is it over?
Oh man, what if a ninja, right? What?
There's been a few extremely intense scenes like this, and they kind of use the same stuff over again, which is a bit of a shame. Makes it a little bit less intense. I suppose they don't have many options, though.
What if a ninja?
What if a
Gray
ninja?
Fox.
Emily,
Colonel,
what if a ninja?
That ninja is Gray Fox.
I don't even...
No doubt about it.
I have nowhere to go.
Ridiculous. You of all people should know he died in Zanzibar.
No. He should have died, but he didn't.
At the very end there
What?
when he kneels down, I just
It
imagine
happened
that's what
before I
happened.
joined
Like,
Foxhound's medical
arms in the
staff.
air, praise the
They were
sun.
using a
Yeah.
soldier for their gene therapy experiments.
Thank you,
I
God,
never
for
heard of
video
that.
games.
It happened right after
Thank
you
you for
retired.
not making
My
me do this
predecessor,
again.
Dr. Clark was in charge.
Dr. Clark.
Yes. He
Oh
started the
no,
gene
there's a
therapy
plot
project.
point where the ninja
Where
was
is he
another
now?
ninja, but
He
from
was
the
killed in
ninja
an
past.
explosion in his
But he's a
lab 2
robot
years ago.
now, right?
So what
Oh
about
no,
this
and
soldier?
better.
Oh no,
Apparently, for their
man,
test subject, they
ninjas.
decided to use the body of a soldier
So
who
here's
was
the thing,
recovered after the fall of Zanzibar.
Is like
that was Gray
games
Fox.
are a
But
tapestry,
he was
right?
already dead.
You can talk about
Yes.
them as a
But they
whole,
revived
right?
him.
And the aggregate
They fitted him with
experience
the
you get
prototype
as a result of
exoskeleton and
that.
kept him drugged for
But,
4 years while they experimented on him like a plaything.
Or rather, you can talk about them as a whole with aggregate
Today's genome
experience, which I'm
soldiers
tempted
were
to
born
do.
from
But you
those
can also
experiments.
parse out the different
That's the
elements of the
sickest
game.
thing I ever
And even
heard.
though I still like the
He used
voice
them to
acting
test
and
all
I
sorts of
still
gene
think the
therapy
writing is
techniques.
good,
Naomi,
the
why didn't you
bizarre
tell us about this
insanity
sooner?
and hatred that
Because it's
was
confidential information.
expressed by the creators of
Is
this
that
game
the
for
only
me and
reason?
contempt for my time
Naomi,
makes me
what
not
happened to
care
Gray
at all,
Fox after that?
right?
The
The
bizarre
record says
hatred
he
for that
died in the
particular
explosion.
fight.
Yeah.
I see.
Well, I mean, that wasn't
But
the
even if
intention
that
of the
ninja
entirety
is
of it.
Gray
And
Fox,
do you
the
think
question is,
a
why?
very good
From
film,
what I could
because it has
tell,
one
He
scene
didn't know who he
that
was.
brutalizes
He's saying that
characters,
he's
if
just a mindless
whether or not
robot.
that to you
I'm not
invalidates
sure,
the quality
but he
of the
seems
entire
intent on
film,
fighting
I
me to the
suppose.
death.
Sometimes it
We'll
can,
meet
right?
again. I know
Yeah,
it.
totally. Sometimes it can.
So you'll fight
Sometimes it
again.
diminishes the value of
Until
the
you kill
thing,
him?
right? Like,
Well, it diminishes the value
I'd
of the
rather
characters
not.
if they're put in
But maybe that's what he wants.
compromising scenes. But
Right.
yeah, it.
in order to care about the drama, I need to have a feeling
How long are
for
you gonna stay in there?
the characters, right? Like I need to be invested in them in some sense.
No, I'm not. I
And
always work alone.
to me, this completely bucks the whole Solid Snake and
Come on, get
adversaries relationship because I
can't
don't
stay
have
here
any faith
forever.
that it's going to be based solidly in any like sensible narrative structure. I think I'm just get the sense that it's going to be
You're the Metal
arbitrary
Gear
challenges.
Chief engineer, Hal Emmerich, right?
Like
Well, yeah, arbitrary bosses, but
You know
they.
me?
I heard about you from Merrill.
Everything would be an
Oh,
arbitrary challenge,
you're here to
mostly by
rescue
this
me.
definition, because
Sorry,
the emotional
but no.
reward generally comes
There's
through
something
defeating the
that I gotta
bosses,
do
and the game
first.
is essentially a series of bosses. That's
Well, at least you're not one of
kind
them.
of always what it's been, besides the little interludes of being environmental.
yeah, I guess I like
I'm
the
okay.
interludes way more than I
just
like the
twisted
bosses.
my ankle a little bit trying to get
Fair,
away.
fair,
Well,
yeah.
if that's all, it's nothing
And I
to
mean,
worry
maybe we'll hit
about.
more later on, but a lot of this game has so
I wanna
far
ask you
been
something.
either a boss fight
I need information about
or
Metal Gear.
non-interactable footage.
Metal Gear?
Yeah, I like sneaking around the
Yeah.
base. I find that fun.
What's Metal Gear really designed for?
It's a mobile TMD.
Yeah.
It's designed to
I wonder
shoot
if this is
down
all
nuclear
pre-rendered. I would
missiles.
have to
Only
assume
for defensive purposes, of course.
it's in-game renders, but I'm not
I already
totally
know
sure
that Metal
on
Gear is
that.
nothing but a
Yeah, I think so.
nuclear-equipped walking deathmobile.
Nuclear? What
Oh
are you
my.
talking about?
The terrorists are planning to use
Yeah, like,
Metal
part
Gear
of
to
this
launch
is
a
I've,
nuclear
like,
missile. You telling
They've
me you
lost me
didn't
on the
know?
character of Solid Snake, right?
They're gonna put a dismantled warhead.
You know,
in
like,
the
I don't-
Metal Gear's
Mostly your
TMD
experience has
missile
been
module?
flattened by that boss. And I mean,
From the
giving it
beginning,
time,
the
maybe
purpose of
like
this
if you had been
exercise
able
was to
to
test
kill
Metal
the
Gear's nuclear
ninja
launch
at the very, very
capability
beginning of
using a
this
dummy
episode, it
nuclear
probably would have been a lot
warhead. The
easier in
terrorists are
terms of
just continuing
enjoyment
the
and
work
could have
you
actually
started.
slipped back into the story,
No,
but the
you're
frustration
wrong.
seems to
I
run
heard
too
it
deep
directly
now.
from your boss,
Yeah.
Baker.
I have like a tattoo
No.
that says "fuck Metal
Yeah.
A
Gear."
nuclear missile
There's
on
no.
Rex?
He lost an arm in the
So
war.
you really
Yeah.
didn't know.
I don't know. It's just like
All the armament was built by a separate department.
one thing that
and the
happens to
president
like a lot of
personally
players if
supervised
they
the final
encounter like
assembly of the main unit.
a glitch in the game that
President Baker.
significantly takes back
Yeah.
like their
I was never
like game
told
progress,
exactly
and they
what
have to
they
go
armed
back a
Rex
few
with.
hours or
I
whatnot,
only know it's equipped with a
or God
Vulcan
forbid even
cannon,
start a new
a
save
laser,
file. Like it
and a
can ruin the
railgun.
game permanently, right? I feel like there's a trust between the creators of the game and the player to
A railgun,
you know
he said.
handle
Yeah. It uses magnets to fire
the
bullets at
experience and the
extremely high
time that
velocities.
the player
technology was
has
originally developed
put
for the
in the
SDI
faith
system
of
and
the
later
game
scrapped.
designer has
We
been
were successful
misused,
in
and then you don't get
miniaturizing
that trust
in
back
a joint
at some
venture
point,
between
right?
ArmsTech and Rivermore National Labs.
To a degree, but they
The
also
railgun
can't
is
predict
on
what you're
Rex's
going to have
right arm.
difficulty with.
Metal
And
Gear's
so
main
trying
function is
to
launch
balance the
nuclear
difficulty
missiles.
of
You
fights
sure you're
in
not
games
forgetting something?
is
Sure,
really
Metal
a
Gear has
nebulous
missile module on
concept.
its back that
No,
can
for
carry
sure.
8
When,
missiles,
because
but
I mean,
are
like
you
looking
saying
at
it
what
was
other people say
originally
about
meant
the
to
game, they
carry
had a lot more
nuclear
trouble
missiles?
with the boss that was right before that one. That is the common one to get trapped on, and then people don't have as much trouble with this. And there's no way to be able to predict
Yeah,
that. So
but that's not all I
you
think.
can't compensate.
Metal
Like
Gear fired
you can
only
compensate to a
standard
degree for the
nuclear missiles, then
shortfallings
they should
of the
already
people
have
that
all
play
the
your
practical
game,
data
but
they
you want
need.
them to get like a full
No.
spectrum experience when they build something like this. So they're gonna try and balance it and stuff like that, and they're not betraying
Metal
you
Gear
as a
co-developer,
developer. They just
Rivermore
can't do it
National
for you.
Labs was working
No,
on
for
a new
sure,
type
but
of nuclear
I think
weapon.
it comes down
They
to
were using
making
Nova
some
and
choice
Myth
about
laser nuclear fusion
considering
testing equipment and supercomputers.
character
So they
c-
developed a
considering
new type
players
of
who might
nuclear
be
weapon
getting
in the VR
trapped
testing lab,
in
huh?
various parts of your design.
Yes, but you
Yeah,
can't
which
use
cheapens
virtual data
the
on
value
battlefield.
of
They
the
would need
overall
actual launch
experience
data.
about whether or not you have to do something.
I'm not
These are some
sure
of
that's the case.
supercomputers. If you link these,
Because
you can test
if
everything in a
you
virtual
make
environment.
something
But
difficult,
it's
if you
all
make a
just
like
theoretical.
a
So
big
this
huge
exercise
ending
was
to a
designed
story
to
of a
test the
guy that you
real
got to
thing.
defeat, and then you try defeating him 10 times, and then it says, well,
What did our
I mean, there's a
president
green
do?
little square you can stand on, and
terrorists
it'll just
launched that
teleport you
thing-
behind him, so you can grab the sword that you've been working the game to get to.
Damn.
That definitely, in my
I'm
opinion,
such a
cheapens the
fool.
experience. Suddenly, there's no value
all
to
my
everything that
fault.
you worked for
I think
because they gave you that button.
I think it's a question about where you're deriving value from the
Truth
game as a
is,
player.
My grandfather was
And
part
yeah,
of the
frustration
Manhattan
definitely can't come
Project.
from that, but allowing you to skip over or
suffered with
through
the
or
guilt for the
past
rest
things
of his
says that
life.
the developers' concept of the
And my
story they wanted to
father,
play through
He
was
was born on
inherently
August
wrong.
6th,
I wouldn't say that.
1945.
I say that there's.
The day of the
I,
Hiroshima
I think it's
bomb.
worth recognizing that
God's got a
different
sense of
players
humor,
will
all right.
bring different values to the game, and there's certain sort of player
Three
who will derive a lot of
generations of
joy
American
from
men.
overcoming a really difficult struggle, and they
We
want
must have the
a
curse
game
of
that
nuclear
will
weapons
demand
written
that they
into our
put
DNA.
10 hours, 15 hours into perfecting a level or a certain sequence. But then there's other
I
players
used
who
to
are
think
just
that I could
along the
use
ride
science
for the
to
story.
help mankind.
And they give you that option at the
one that wound up
beginning, the
getting
option
used
to pick easy.
I suppose that's what we should have
Using
done then.
science to help
Yeah,
mankind.
like
It's
it
just
is
in
there. The
movies.
option is there without them giving you a magic
enough
button that goes
crying.
past it.
Pull
There's the
yourself
button to make it
together.
easy. And if you
Where is
only want the
Metal
story,
Gear?
that's
Where on
just
this base are they keeping it?
what you're going to have to do, right?
Yeah.
So why do you pick
Yeah, but I guess
normal rather than
I guess
easy?
the
Rex
thought
in the
is that
underground maintenance base.
normal.
Where's that?
This is a really
North of
long
the communications
cutscene,
tower,
eh?
But it's a long way
Yeah,
there.
it really is.
The emergency
Games
override
have a
system for the
lot of
detonation code is there
exceptionally long
too.
cutscenes.
Yeah.
In the maintenance base control
Um,
room. You'd better hurry. If they were planning
very,
a launch
very
from the start,
long-winded.
then their ballistic
Yeah, no, I know
program
where
is
I know where you're
probably
coming from,
finished. If
and
they haven't called for me in a few hours, they must not
maybe
need me. In other words, they must be
part of
ready to
this
launch.
has to do
They've
with
got the detonation code
lack of
override
ability
keys.
on
We'll link up with her.
We
my
can't override the
behalf
launch.
to
We'll have to
project
destroy Rex.
how difficult normal was going to be. But I felt like normal has been very, very fair until all of a sudden I spent over an
I'll show you
hour
the
trying
way.
to punch
On
this
that leg of
guy.
yours, you'll
Yeah,
just
and I
slow
mean,
me
we'll
down.
see once we get a little
You'll
bit
need me if
farther.
you're gonna
Because if
destroy
this doesn't
Rex.
happen again for the
I don't
entire
need
game,
you. I just
like
need
that
your
will
brain.
be
I
really
created
strange
Rex.
that it should just
It's
end
my
up
right,
being this
my
one little
duty to
instance,
destroy
Yeah.
you know? And I feel like, between us, we can definitely chalk it up a little bit more to like, well,
If
woops,
you
I
get a
guess I
chance, try to
have a
escape.
short following when it
When the
comes to
coast is
ninja
clear,
slaying.
I'll contact you by
But
codec.
I
How am I
really
supposed to
don't
escape
suspect that'll
from
be the
an
case. I have a good feeling that we will be
okay.
running into more bosses,
So what
that we
then?
have
I want you to hide
more
somewhere and keep me
instances
informed. You know this
of that
place
sort
well,
of thing
don't you?
after this.
Of course
And
I
yeah,
do.
you're right. I don't trust
don't
them
worry,
anymore. I
I've
don't
got
trust the rest
this.
of the game to not give you something that is unfair or has a nebulous
It's the same
concept
stealth technology
like
as the
behind how to
Ninja.
do it.
Foxhound
Yeah.
was going to use them, but
With a
with
good
this, I'll
10
be
minutes
fine.
before you're able
Bad
to even
leg and all.
test the end
good.
Yeah.
of a fight.
But I want
Yeah,
Meryl to watch
so I
out.
suppose it comes down to, like, it's a wait and see sort of thing. We have to see how
Very
it
much
plays
so.
out. Oh, another phone call.
Meryl, the
Man,
engineer's
Snake
okay.
is popular.
That's a relief.
Meryl,
I
you
want
don't
you
know
to
how
look
much
after
these
him.
minutes
Where are
cost.
you now?
I'm in
Very
Alaska.
close.
There she is! Over there!
Oh no.
He doesn't
Damn,
have
they
any like
spotted me.
Fido boosts out here. How's he gonna pay for his
Meryl, think
Monthly
of my
time.
tab.
Something's wrong.
Did you hear
I know I
something?
should have paid for
Wasn't
data.
that some kind of music?
What did she
Some
look
kind of
like?
music.
She was wearing the same green uniform as the terrorists.
This is going on forever.
A disguise.
Man,
And I mean,
She had such a
potentially
cute
they
way
would be
of
trying to
walking.
reward you,
She
but they're
kinda
not even
wiggles
like
her behind.
explaining
Ooh,
any
are
of
we
this
looking?
as you're,
Well, she's
running
got a
through
very cute
hallways
behind.
as the entire
walking,
place
huh?
collapses behind you.
yeah,
Or you have to leave the base from where you came with your new hostage. Well, not really
She's
hostage, but
disguised
the,
as
the
the
guy
enemy.
you're
You'll have to
saving. You don't
contact her
actually
when
walk
she's
out with
alone,
him and
huh?
stuff like that. At least not yet. You
There's
have to go
only
through all
one
that
place where
first.
we can be
Ugh.
sure
good butt
she's by
shot though.
herself.
Oh man,
Got a
that?
very cute,
Don't be so
way
dense.
behind. Wow, look at that.
those polygons.
Uh,
Yeah.
Here, use this security card.
Oh man, I got a
It's
security card.
level 4.
Some actual progress. That's all it was. We didn't have to fight.
You're not in pain, are you?
Huh?
You feel okay? Nothing bothering you?
What's wrong? Getting all friendly.
This
all
is a
of
good
sudden.
plot moment though.
No, nothing. I'm glad you're
It
okay.
is.
You're strange.
I'm a little nervous. Everyone else I
Sec
save
4.
suddenly dies.
Yeah.
Bad luck.
Forget it, Doctor.
Call me Otacon.
Otacon.
It stands for
Call me
Otaku
Otacon.
Convention. An otaku's a guy like me who likes Japanimation. Japan was the first country to successfully make bipedal robots. They're still the best in the field of robotics.
And Japanese cartoons played some part in that.
Kodokan.
They did.
He's a little bit of a
I didn't get into science to make nuclear
strange,
weapons.
senseless character.
That's
Oh
what
well.
all scientists
Yeah,
say.
I don't understand why we're
I
watching
became a
anime now.
scientist because I wanted to make robots like the ones in the Japanese anime.
Well, I mean, they had
Really, it's
comic,
true.
kind of weird American comic book faces before.
Just sounds
Yeah.
like a childish excuse.
But it's just like the thing is to me I feel like this is really heavy
You're
writing.
right. We
It's like
have to take
I could
responsibility. Science
make
has always
the
thrived on
leap of
war.
faith
The greatest
between
weapons of
having
mass
pictures of
destruction
robots on the
created by
wall
scientists
and
who
learning
wanted
that
to
he
be
likes
famous.
anime at all
But that's
to
all over now.
learn about his
I won't
motivation
take
as a
part in
character.
murder anymore.
I don't need to watch
Whatever.
40
All I
seconds
want
of
from you
anime
is
to
information.
have that happen.
Sure. I know everything about
Right,
this
like
whole base.
they
Ask me
accomplished
anything
in a
about Rex or
line
about
what
this
then
place.
they went
Also,
over with
this
in
stealth
60 seconds.
camouflage, I can sneak in
You know what I
and out
mean?
of
Yeah,
the
I mean,
armory
there's
and mess
yeah,
with
there's
it.
a
If
there's
you need
a
ammo or
degree
rations, just tell me and I'll
of
bring them to you.
I guess maybe relation
I'm
or
on
writers
frequency
writing themselves in
141.12.
or
See you
trying to
later.
appeal to a differing market by putting a character that people can relate to in a cool action movie game. But yeah, it is pretty heavy-handed for him.
Yeah, no, like I think the character's cool. I like the idea of some guy who is willing to look the other way over and over again about this military weapons platform he's working on because he just has like a blind spot because he loves robots. I think that's cool. But him saying, I like anime, to me, like I get what that means. I know enough
Well,
about
not
anime.
even that. His name is literally "I like anime."
Sure,
That is
right.
his actual name. So you think the line would be drawn there rather than showing that he actually really does like anime. Wow, what a twist!
It's the posters on the wall, but then we have to sit through an extra 60 seconds of glut on an already huge cutscene.
The Soliton radar
Right?
system or the Codex system.
Yeah, we've been through
I
what,
just
2
wanted to
radio
make something that would be
transmissions,
useful for people.
2
I
really
think
lengthy,
that it was the
Yeah.
same for Dr. Emmerich,
fully
too.
acted, fully voice acted
But he was
cutscenes,
used like a
along with
tool,
another
used to
section
make a
that goes all
horrible killing
comic book on
machine.
you.
Yeah,
Maybe it would be better
and this
engineers
one I'm
like us just
involved in
stop
because I'm trying to
making things.
save.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Save, thanks, Mei Lin. You're a real peach. Yeah. So I watched the movie. What was it? The Bridge on the River Kwai the other day, and in a scene, so basically the movie is the British prisoners of war in a conflict at the turn of the 1900s with the Empire of Japan have been interned in a prisoner of war camp, and they have to make a bridge because that's what they've been ordered to do as prisoners. And the British decide that they're going to do a good job to make the bridge instead of doing a bad job to keep the morale up. And then there's a scene between the British colonel who's doing this and the medic of the camp who's trying to explain to him that when they get back to Britain, when they're freed after the war, they might be court-martialed, right? For actually aiding the enemy and making a good bridge. And then he goes on to say, well, listen, medic, if we don't build this bridge properly, our soldiers will be punished and they'll be treated bad by the Japanese and their rations will be cut. And when morale breaks down, they'll cease being soldiers and start being slaves, right? And that's the line, right? And in just a few words of dialogue, it spells out an entire philosophy of command that this character has, his relationship to the medic, and the way that they view differently their responsibilities as, executive officers in the British military. And it also lays out the next 40 minutes of plot for the film, right? In just a line, right? I put that in stark contrast to what's happening here, which is just like an angry, like inflamed misuse of time.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously there's a portion of like introduction to the concept, but we definitely went through that earlier before, and they gave us a lot, and I was hoping it would slow down after that because you have an idea of the universe you're in finally, and you're starting to actually encounter characters that have been shaped or are part of this universe, part of this operation, all that kind of stuff. And yeah, to provide those one-line motives or one-line whatever, and maybe you're going to encounter them later after they've had time to mature or transform or become more interesting. Or maybe you don't. Maybe you defeat them right then and there and learn something new about the organization that you're fighting against, as opposed to convoluting the story so deeply and profoundly that nothing means anything anymore.
Which I feel like we're getting to.
Oh, very much so. I expected a lot of the dialogue and story to either have more space between it or stop a very long time ago and give us a little bit of time to actually play. Also, I hope you make it out of this room eventually.
Yeah, me too. So I think we're going to take a break here and move on to episode 5 of Metal Gear Solid, now that we've finally gotten through what feels like should have been a mini boss,
Yeah,
Anywho.
totally.
So, Emily, before we go, tell people where they can find us on the web.
Okay, so right now we are streaming on Twitch TV at 2-Bit Game Club, which is always not spelt 2, it is the number 2. You can also find us on Twitter at 2-Bit Game Club as well, Facebook 2-Bit Game Club, and you can find me on Slivers 2-Bit Game Club, as well as the website, which is also 2-Bit Game Club, so I guess you're everywhere.
Hooray! Okay, so until next time, we've been the 2-Bit Game Club. Stay tuned for more angry ranting about the frustrating game that is Metal Gear Solid.
Thanks very much, everyone.